Let's talk about venture capital right now. We've got with us today serial entrepreneur Ganesh. He really wears many hats. He's an angel investor with 6 budding startups in his current portfolio. He also started one of India's first BPO businesses, CustomerAsset. Way back in 2000, it was the brain behind online tutoring portal TutorVista, and made a handsome amount selling it off to global publishing giant Pearson. Ganesh, thank you so much for joining us today on Bloomberg. I want to begin by asking you about your own assessment of the environment for investing. Is there money out there for fresh ideas, irrespective of we talk about economy, government, and so on? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think in terms of the current environment, I mean, just a bit of blip in the radar because of the elections and the slight amount of churn that's happening. Other than that, it's been an excellent time. We have seen great companies being built, excellent exit like Redbus, Just Dial, TutorVista, and very good scaling of companies like Flipkart, Myntra, BigBasket.com. So we are seeing great momentum in the ecosystem, and with all the players chipping in. So I think it's perhaps the best of the times for startup entrepreneurial activity.
Sure. Ganesh, tell me this. Which sectors would you find interesting and attractive? Would you put your money today on the global fad of anything digital, or would you look at the brick and mortar businesses? What's your investment philosophy?
Yeah, so I think there are two different segments that we look at. One is if you look at companies started in India for the Indian market, very clearly we look at core sectors. So you have the standard roti, kapda, makan, and you have education and healthcare. Sure. So these are the 5 evergreen recession-proof teams. And also, unfortunately, in India, each of this sector is broken. What I mean is that there's huge pain points. The consumers are not happy. They are aspiring for quality, reliable brands that can service their need. So that is where the opportunity comes for entrepreneurs to start businesses. So I'm extremely bullish on healthcare, education, food, retail, basic core consumption story in India to start businesses. But having said that, I'm not talking about traditionally starting a retail company or building makan or being a builder. I'm really talking about how to use technology, internet, sure, to disrupt the current status quo, but in these core sectors to address large pain points. That's one theme. If I look at the global market, then I do like the fact that internet has leveled the playing field, and you can create hugely scalable businesses like TutorVista.com for the US market. I had an investment in a company that was the first company to be acquired by Facebook from India, Little Eye Labs, and that had a great exit in about one and a half years from start. So there is nice themes which I have what you call as fads, but for fads, you have to be in the valley, you have to look at global market. But fortunately for all of us in India, the core pain points of India offer a tremendous opportunity.
I take your point, and I meant fad really in a positive sense. Tell me something. If Little Eye Labs was an example, do you see more of that happening? Do you see the Bangalores and the Hyderabad and the Chennais of the world creating more IPs that are likely to be acquired by the big boys in the valley?
No, absolutely. I mean, I would say Bangalore because I'm in Bangalore and I'm biased towards Bangalore. But the ecosystem here is buzzing. Take, for example, education technology. You can really create great companies in India for the global market in education technology. Take another example of the SaaS companies or ERP for the small and medium enterprises. Now, that is just a sector waiting to be taken from India for the global market. So that is another sector, okay, right? So I think the opportunity is fantastic. The fact that youngsters in India can use internet to address and create a global company and create the next billion-dollar company from Bangalore or Hyderabad or Chennai is really extremely encouraging for all of us.
Ganesh, I was looking at your portfolio. I understand that you've recently invested in a media startup. That's heartwarming news for all of us. Something called Oximity, along with Ronnie and another Wall Street banker. Take me through why you would consider investing in the media. What's different, and what's your own take on the kind of models that the online media startups have to offer?
Yeah, I think the entire new media space is ripe for disruption and for new technology to come in. The way the news is being created, the way the news is being distributed, the way the news is being consumed has dramatically changed because of the social networks, because of crowdsourcing of information and democratization of news. I'm not saying the traditional media will go away. There will be election news, there will be breaking news, there will be certain things that traditional media will cater. But people are increasingly focusing on micro media. That means very specific to what my interests are and how that I can get that information and locally. So I would call it like you have Facebook for social, like you have LinkedIn for professional. Oximity is a platform that is for news,
right?
Okay, right? A social platform. So I think the way Jeff Bezos has got into media, the way technology entrepreneurs are coming to media, you will see in the next 5 to 10 years great amount of disruption using technology by technology entrepreneurs in the area of new media.
All right. So tell me something. When you look at investing in a startup, what are the 3 or 4 things that you look for?
See, my personal views are, one, obviously, is the team. Does the team have the persistence and the vision to be able to go through the hard times? Startups, less than 5% of the startups actually succeed. So you need an entrepreneur who is passionate and also stupid enough to bet against a 5% odds of success. So passion and stupidity is number 1. Number 2 is the sector large and big enough? What I mean by that is I cannot create another BPO company or IT services company today. I mean, you have giants like Wipro, Cognizant, Infosys, and all of that stuff. For me to try to compete against that would be extremely impossible. But when you're talking about new sectors which have not been addressed, virgin territory, that increases your probability of success to be in that 5% success category.
Sure.
So a large sector, lack of competition, a great team are the first 3 things. Lastly, I would say, are they disrupting? Are they trying to repeat a model that has been around for 50 years? Are they using technology? Are they using internet to be able to serve the consumer better, solve the pain point so that they have a better chance of success?
Right.
So I'm really looking at some bit of secret sauce by which they will have their odds better than the 5% that any startup has when it starts.
Just a point about, you said passion and stupidity. You'll find a lot of that in the media, yeah. Ganesh. One final question.
No, you're being modest. You'll find that everywhere. But that maverick instinct is required. I remember that when we started TutorVista, we said we are going to teach the students of the world English and math by teachers in India working from the home. We went to 7 VCs to pitch for money, and 6 of them turned us down. They said, this is really stupid.
Sure.
How can you have teachers at home in India teach on internet, students in US, they will never accept it and all that stuff.
Right.
So it was a stupid idea because 6 of the 7 so-called VCs, top VCs said it ain't going to work. Okay? So you do require that freak.
Sure. Yeah, you stand vindicated. I have one very quick final question for someone who's watching this program, who's looking for investment, who's got a business idea and who's looking for funding. What would your advice to him be?
When you go for funding, put yourself in the shoes of the investor, okay, right? And look at it from his point of view. Why should he invest in you instead of 40 other business plans and proposals that you get? And tailor make that pitch. The biggest mistake I see when entrepreneurs approach angel investors or even VCs for funding is they are trying to tell their story without putting themselves in the other person's shoes.
Right.
Do the research on the venture capitalist or the investor. See what are the sectors that he has invested in, he's interested in. See his investment pattern and tailor your pitch in such a manner so that you are able to appeal to his greed and his interest. And make an offer that, make a pitch that he cannot refuse. Okay. So that I think is homework,
Sure.
homework, putting yourself in their shoes.